Hello everyone, I'm here today with a new process video and I'm working on some photos from Springfield, but I actually flew to Chicago first in order to catch the train down there, so I have some flight photos. So I've got my boarding pass here, my seat view. I was actually on the aisle, but I was able to grab this before anyone was seated next to me, so I have that. And blank spot here, so I need a card. I have lots of cards that are related to flight and air travel, so I'm not worried about finding one. It's just making it match. So there's that. And then this is actually, I stayed at a hostel for one night. Since I was barely there, I didn't want to spend a lot of money. And there's a hostel I stay at quite frequently there. So I stayed there, and this is on the wall. And I love the saying, so I included that too. For this photo, I love that the center of the circle is open because it will allow me to do some fun embellishing there. And I have something potentially in mind already. I love this one, this circular one that says my happy place. It would fit right in the middle, and it's actually orange, which is kind of hard to find sometimes in scrapping stuff, but the airline I flew, Sun Country, orange is part of their color scheme, so it would work here for me. So I'm considering that one. I'm actually going to open this up because there are cards in there, there are some chipboard stickers and things, and I also like to always cover up the bar or the QR code here when I have these, so I need something there too. I might as well open up this little package and look what's there. Well, of the cards that came with the kit, I forgot that it was so heavily influenced towards summer. Like, two of the things in here say July, and that definitely doesn't work for this because it was not July, so I can't use those. But in my other travel cards, I found these two, and I like them both. I actually have two of these because I bought two sets of this package. I would like to use one of them just to make sure it's actually getting used. So I like that, and the fact that it's the right color. But if I use it, I probably would switch these two photos around just so that the darker blues aren't right next to each other. But then I also have this one, which I like. I love that it shows the view out the window because I have that, but I'm not sure about this pink in here. I like it, but with orange, I'm just not sure. I don't feel like those go very well. And then if I use this, I may have to adjust again because I wouldn't want those next to each other. And I mean, that doesn't look horrible. It's really just the pink that concerns me. So I'm going to kind of mess around with this and see which card I really like, what might work with this, maybe pull some other embellishments too that I could put in here and here to see what colors those would be and how they would look. So I feel like I still have a lot of work ahead of me here. All right, I have some other contenders, I hope. I pulled out my acrylics and I realized there's orange in here as well as pink. I could maybe do something with the airplanes and the geotag, maybe. So I'm going to keep those as an option. But then I also pulled out my general travel stuff. So I have my red and pink bag, my yellow and orange bag. I'm going to go through there, and there's got to be something that would fit in here that would match. So I'm just going to play around with all of those things. So I've decided I'm for sure going with the blue card. I just can't get this to work with what I've got going. It is that pink. I put some pink on there like the airplanes here and stuff, and I wasn't happy with it, so I'm not going to use that one. I have this, and for sure I want to use this somewhere, and I am going to use this sticker in here after all. I tried looking through here, and everything was either too big, not quite the right color, and while a lot of these are digital files like this one, I really liked this one and wanted to see if I could fit it in there. It's a little too big. This is a digital file. I could reprint, size it down, make it fit better. I frankly just don't want to. Right now, I just don't want to spend the time to do that. So I'm not going to use this one when I have this readily available. I'm just going to take that off, get this as straight as I can. And I'm just kind of eyeballing. Is that pretty well centered? I think so. There might be a little bit more room on the bottom than on the top, but it's fine. I don't know that it has to be absolutely perfect. So there's that at least. And then I do have this that I could put here. I'd almost like something that covered a little bit more. And I did look at these stickers. I have this one, and it's orange. And this is about travel details. So I could kind of just put it right in the middle there, and it would cover up a lot of that. But I really wanted something that like fit inside that, not ran across it. So I'm going to think about that a little bit more. I'm not really finding anything else that would fit there, so I have decided I'm just going to use this one, and I'll just put it across the middle like I thought I might. So let's see here. Oh, a little bit more to the right. How's that? That's pretty good, I think. Okay, so now I have all of that. Now I have to decide, do I still want to use this? I thought I was going to. There's not really a lot of room there for it. So if I did it, it might like have to be here. And then I'm not sure I love that these are stacked like that. I could off-center it, I suppose. I'm not in love with it. The only other option is I just thought that maybe I could cut off this top part and put something behind it. I wonder if I have any very subtle pattern paper that might work for that. I'll go into my scraps of paper and see if maybe I have something, but if not, I'll probably just either leave it as is or maybe put this off center and then just call it good. I pulled out my orange scraps here. I have quite a few, and a lot of them were too bold, but this one I think is pretty subtle. I think that would be okay. It's a little bit lighter than these, but I'm also okay with that. It doesn't have to be perfect. So I think I'm going to cut this down, also trim this off. And if I decide it's too much orange against all that and I don't like it, then I can always just go with a white or a light gray background instead. All right, so I trimmed the paper to the right size, I trimmed the photo down, and I actually decided to narrow it in a little bit as well as cut it this way. I like that you can see a little bit of that border. It's enough, like you can tell it's orange, but it's not like in your face if I were to use all that. So I do like it. I think I will probably align this mostly to the top, and that leaves me room to stamp there. I think it probably would be too much to add another embellishment because these are pretty bold and I don't want to overdo it. So I think I will just stamp some kind of phrase there about departure or in flight or something like that. I have tons of travel stamps, so that will not be a problem. I pulled out 2 stamp sets that had different phrases. For this one, there are things like being a tourist, solo trip, which is accurate, airplane, that kind of stuff. And while I like those, they're small, it would take up a lot of space. And I just felt like maybe that was, I don't know, a little too generic or something. So I think I'm going to go with this one instead. I like all of these. There are some great sayings, and you can kind of tell I haven't used them a lot since I've had them. So I also want to make an effort to be using what's in my stash here because I have so many stamps. I really need to make an effort to use as many of them as possible. So I think what I'm going to do is use the one that says ready for takeoff. To my knowledge, I don't think I've ever used it since I've had this, and it does take up a little bit more space, and I kind of like that, so I'm going with that one. All right, I stamped that. I didn't screw it up, so now I feel confident that I can attach this here, and then this one might be done. I have everything back in the pockets, and I think I'm happy with it. I like the mix of colors, the way they look together. This is the only one that doesn't have anything orange, but I think that's okay. I can always add something later if I want, but I think it's okay. And when the journaling's there, I also think that will help. So for now, at least, here's another one done for Springfield. Thanks for watching.